from Sunday Night Football on NBC. Al Michaels, how are you, Al?
I am doing great, Rich. Good to be with you yesterday. Great to be with you today. And hopefully I'll see you down the line in short order.
I agree.
It's so good to see a schedule come out. And, again, it's being very optimistic, and you're on top of it. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or whenever. And, right now, not only did they come out with the schedule, but they came out, I think, with the preseason schedule as well, because we're on the docket for a couple of games in August. So let's see what happens.
You know what? That is basically what I think the NFL wanted to do. Let's just get out there. Let's get it all out there, and we'll adjust once we do get it all out there. And that's why they did that with the draft last week, Al. It's like, because if not then when? And teams can now basically plan as best they can and then adjust. And you look at the schedule, and this isn't like dipping a toe in the pool, you know what I mean, and figuring it out down the line. A real deal raising of the banner in Kansas City with Deshaun Watson coming in, and then you come here to Los Angeles to open up the new stadium with the Cowboys. I mean, that is that's as real deal as any schedule would start for you in NBC.
I was listening to you talk about the history of the stadium, and you and I both know it because, living in L.A., but I go all the way back to when the Rams played in the Coliseum, and they were the only team in town, and they decided they didn't want to play in the Coliseum anymore. They moved to Anaheim, and that opened up the Coliseum for the Raiders. So now you had two teams coming in, and then you had both teams leaving. Mm-hmm. In 1994, Oakland goes back to their original digs. Rams go to St. Louis. Rich, I'm thinking about a couple of different things. One of them because a friend of ours, R.D. Hubbard, the great racetrack impresario, he died last week, I think at the age of 84. But R.D. Hubbard had made a deal with Al Davis to build a Raiders stadium at Hollywood Park, where the SoFi Stadium is going to be now. And there was a big sign up there, future home of the Raiders. That went away. And then, I don't know if you remember this, but Al Davis, and only Al Davis could have pulled this off, because instead of getting sued, he used to do the suing, just litigate, baby. But he went to the town of Irwindale, which is nothing but a gravel pit with about 28 people, and somehow, some way, extracted a personal check to him for $10 million. $10 million out of the Irwindale budget, which I had no idea if it had $1,000 in it. He got a non-refundable $10 million check from a guy named Xavier Hermosillo, who was the city manager of Irwindale. And Al felt so badly about it when, what hit the fan when everybody said, where in the world did that money come from? That Davis gave Hermosillo a job in the Raiders front office, I think in the ticket department. So, you can't make this stuff up. You can't. And then, so they leave, and now you've got all kinds of possibilities. Farmers Field, remember that? That was going to be built next to Staples Center.
Right.
That went away. Then you had the thing in Carson with all the methane gas underneath there, and that was where the Raiders and the Chargers were going to play. And then Stan Kroenke comes in and rides in and comes into the rescue, and it's only costing them $5.5 billion to get that up. But it's going to be great, Rich.
But Jerry Jones is a no-brainer first guest for an owner to bring his team in. For that one.
Jerry knew. Look, Jerry built the Taj Mahal stadiums. That stadium is right now, I think, 13 years old. 12 years old. It's still, to me, it's beautiful. It's pristine. Jerry only does things first class, top grade. And you walk around that stadium, and it's one of those, the old cliche about eating off the floor. You can. They maintain it perfectly. And he knew in Stan, he had a guy who had the same kind of vision. So the only difference would be, not the only difference, but Texas is a right-to-work state, and California is a union state. So Stan's only spending about 5 times what Jerry did to build his Taj Mahal.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.